It's here. The new rules for real estate commissions and how real estate industry operates as a whole are active. The changes have taken effect on August 17th, so I'm going to talk about all of this in this video. How does that affect the market and what you can expect as a buyer or seller? I'm Nicole Lorig with eXp Realty. Let's get started. Due to NAR settlement, the way compensation is negotiated has changed. There's a lot of false information floating around on the internet space, in Facebook groups, forums, news, but I'm going to explain how this change affects both buyers and sellers here in Arizona. What has been done for so many years is that the seller's agent has been pre-negotiating for buyer's agent commission, and the DOJ wanted it to stop. So as a seller's agent, I am no longer going to pre-negotiate and advertise on the MLS what the buyer's agent will receive if they bring a buyer for my listing. The new rule is that I, as a listing agent, can only negotiate my compensation with the sellers, and the buyer's agent has to negotiate their fee with their buyers. I will go in a little deeper on this in a bit, but first, let me get to one of the hot topics that just keeps getting misconstrued. We're not saying that sellers cannot offer compensation to buyers. We're not cutting buyer's agents out. On the contrary, I highly recommend you have a buyer's agent now more than ever because of the extent of this binding contract you are getting into. I've represented both buyers and sellers, and it's my job to protect my clients from very expensive mistakes that can result in further litigations. Now, the new rule is that I, as the listing agent, will negotiate my compensation, but have the conversation with the sellers to see if they would like to contribute to the buyer's agent commission. It is their decision, always has been, and always will be. However, this time around, we aren't advertising any potential compensation, but we'll negotiate it later in the offers. Now, I personally believe home sellers should contribute. I always will believe the seller should compensate to the buyer's agent because that just makes more sense in marketing. Here's why. Everyone loves incentives. Homeowners, the compensation you offer to the buyer's agent is a marketing tool. I will give you my reasons why in a second. But first, home sellers, let me warn you now. Sure, you can find an agent that will be okay with you not contributing to a buyer's agent and will take on that listing because they've already negotiated their compensation with you. But let that be a warning sign because as a digital marketing agent, I can guarantee that listing will stay on the market longer, have very little showings, and may have even lower offers to compensate the money that they need to pay their agent. This is key, is especially true for homes with certain price ranges. Home buyers are not going to have the extra money. Okay, let me break this down. This is how the old way looked, the way we've been doing it for years. Listing agent meets the homeowners at the listing appointment, and the listing agent negotiates a fee, which is then normally split between the listing agent and the buyer's agent, and at close, the fee would be paid out. Now here's how it will break down with the new changes. The listing agent is negotiating their compensation with their seller, and the buyer's agent is negotiating their compensation directly with their buyers. The buyers can submit an offer asking for X% towards their agent commission, and their agent gets paid directly from the seller through the concessions. Or if no concessions are given, then it's the responsibility of the buyer to pay their agent. Now let me hit on another detail people are getting wrong. I keep hearing it's illegal to pay buyer's agent's commission, or you shouldn't pay more than X%. First, let me ask you, where are you getting this advice from? Is it from an expert in marketing, an expert in selling homes, or is it your know-it-all neighbor, family, or friend? So when I'm talking to a seller, it is Mr. and Mrs. Seller. My compensation is X%, and it's a tool. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to employ every single agent in the market. And I'm going to say to that agent, this is what we're paying. We're paying X% if you bring me a buyer. Now, for me to go to a really discounted compensation as a strategy makes no sense. Sure, you may think it will save you money and more money in your pocket, but what you're really doing is leaving every single buyer in the market having to think they're going to pay more for their agent and they're just going to skip the property, especially in certain price ranges where the buyers just don't have the extra money when they don't even have or need to have 20% down payment. They're not going to be able to afford it in their mind. They're not going to want to pay it in their mind. And so what you're doing is lowering the price of your property, or worse, letting it sit on the market unsold. So think of the compensation as a tool. So what I'm going to do as your listing agent is to use this compensation that you're willing to offer, and I'm going to go out and employ all these buyers agents to bring me their buyers. Plus, I'm using my marketing plan to market the heck out of your home to bring thousands of home buyer views either online or walking through your home. 97% of buyers work with an agent to sell or buy homes. So if you skip out on compensating, you're potentially losing out on 97% of buyers as well. Now here's another change for buyers. So if you want to see a home, you now have to sign a buyer-broker agreement with the buyer's agent in order to walk through a property. This form will lay out what the buyer's agent commission is, the term of the contract with the buyer's agent, and even the location of the home. It seems a little scary to sign something right away. I get it. Why would you sign a long contract if you've never met this agent? This is something all agents nationally must complete due to the NAR settlements. So it's extremely important now that buyers sit down for a consultation and interview a buyer's agent before starting their home buying process. It's absolutely important what the agent can bring to the table and offer you. Let me give you a little secret nugget. You can sign the buyer's broker agreement for just that home you want to see, or for a week, or for 90 days. This will give you the opportunity to see if you blend well with that agent and the agent is working hard for you. My last suggestion for buyers: never go unrepresented or choose to go straight to the listing agent and have the listing agent represent you. If you have the listing agent represent you, that agent now has limited representation for both you as the buyer as well as the sellers. They have to tread very lightly on what is shared and provide limited protection for you because the likelihood of potential lawsuits are high. Hang in there, home buyers and sellers. We'll get through this together. But if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. That's what I'm here for. Again, I'm Nicole Lorig with eXp Realty. I'll talk to you soon.